What's going on, you guys? This is Trent here at Rexburg Motorsports, here to do another machine overview with you. Now today we're going to talk about the awesome 2022 Can-Am DS Turbo model. This is a base model, but I'll tell you what, Can-Am brings a ton to the table with this base model X3, and we've got to get into this thing. So again, this is Trent. I'm the machine nerd here at Rexburg Motorsports, and let's dig into this awesome Can-Am. All right, so when we talk about Can-Am, we've got to know Can-Am is a racing company. When they did their product launch for 2022, one of the biggest things that they said was, we race. We race, we learn, we improve. That is something that is so cool coming from a company that's making a high-end product, because you know that the things that they learn when they're breaking these things out at the racetrack are getting put into the production machine to make it better. So when we talk about the changes that they made for 2022, we've got to start with this chassis. They stiffened up the entire chassis, making it stronger, making it less flexy, which is going to give you a more precise feel. As you're going through the bumps, this chassis is going to feel more planted and more rigid, which allows your suspension to work better, which makes you feel more confident as you're going through those hard driving situations, because this machine is going to go right where you expect it to. Can-Am said a lot of the things that they had reinforced with this chassis, they had found were weak points when they were hitting races like the King of Hammers, or racing like the Baja, or racing the short course competitions that they do with these Can-Am X3s. This is an awesome change for Can-Am, because again, they're taking, in my opinion, one of the best side-by-sides in the game and making it that much better. Now the rest of the package is amazing. You've got these big Fox Podium 2.5 shocks front and rear. They've got the QS3 suspension settings, so you can dial in and out between 3 modes to make sure that your suspension is giving you the exact feels that you're wanting. You want it softer? Excellent. They've got a switch for that. You want it firmer? Perfect. They've got that. And then you've got the standard mode right there in the middle, which is tailored for amazing all-around driving condition comfort. Now, with these big shocks, Can-Am is giving you a total of 20 inches of suspension travel. That's enough to blast through the whoops and to tackle any jump that you could possibly want to hit, knowing that you're going to have all of the comfort that you need to feel like you're landing on top of a cloud. Now, this year for 2022, a big upgrade that they also did was they jumped to the Maxxis Carnivore on all their X3 models. This Maxxis Carnivore is a 30-inch tire on this DS Turbo model, and I'll tell you, when I was working back in our parts department, this is one of my favorite tires to sell after the fact, because it's a great all-around tire. Now with this X3, you're also getting 14 inches of ground clearance. You're getting a 102-inch wheelbase. This thing is bringing the goods in every single category to make sure you can get over the rock. And with that 102 wheelbase, you're gonna have a perfect balance between having a super agile machine and still having that overall stability that you need when you're tackling those high-speed sections. The machine nerd, Can-Am X3, you've got this. Oh, hey, are you liking this video so far? You've got to hit that thumbs up button. Make sure we know that you're liking the content that we're putting out here at Rexburg Motorsports. Let's get back to the machine though, yeah? When we're in the interior of this X3, we can't go without talking about these awesome seats. I'm not kidding you, Can-Am has the best seats in the business, bar none. This is the best stock seating position, best seating comfort that you're gonna find in the side-by-side game. Now, a big thing with that is they're gonna do a lot of things to make sure that you're nice and secure, but you look at how much interior room this machine has. I'm 5'8", and with this seat all the way back, I can barely touch the pedals. So if you're over 6 foot, you're gonna fit in one of these excellent. Now, a big thing, this seat is nice and adjustable. This can get it to the point where my knees are in the dash, so if you're right around 5 foot, still gonna be able to find a comfortable spot for you. So lots of adjustability with this X3. These also come standard with the brackets for 4-point harnesses or 5-point harnesses. So if you're wanting to really feel secure, these do come standard with the 3-point harnesses. but you can bolt in 4-point harnesses nice and easy. They've already got the brackets for that. You've also got a tilt adjustable steering wheel, and one thing that I really like about Can-Am with their tilt wheel is the gauge cluster comes with it. So if you're way up here and you tilt that steering wheel to be comfortable for you, that gauge cluster stays right there in line for where you need it to be. When we're in here though, the big reason that I wanted to bring you inside of the cab is to talk about the drive modes and the four-wheel drive modes. This is a huge thing that Can-Am has got for this year. They've got smart lock. So we're gonna talk about that four-wheel drive system just a little bit and tell you exactly what is so cool about that. Now on this machine, you've got two-wheel drive, which is sending all the power to those rear wheels with a locked diff. And then you've got four-wheel drive. Now the four-wheel drive is where the money's being made here, okay? Four-wheel drive has got two modes that is so cool. This has got trail and trail active. Now what this trail and trail active does is this is working with Can-Am's smart lock technology. Their front differential has a clutch pack in it. And this smart lock has an electronically controlled clutch pack that will clamp down to make sure that these front wheels are locked together for a lock diff on the fly. This system goes through 6 different sensors to make sure that you're getting exactly what you need. It looks at wheel speed, it looks at overall vehicle speed, it looks at wheel position as far as the steering wheel goes, it looks at how much torque the motor is making and what your throttle pedal is looking at right off the fly, and it's constantly adjusting to make sure that you're getting the exact feedback from the front end as far as steering feel and as much grip from the front end that you need for that forward bite. Now the big difference between these two modes, trail and trail active, is the trail mode primarily looks at the front wheel's speeds, so it's looking at the differences between that, and then also what angle your steering wheel is at. It's monitoring those two things primarily to make sure that it's unlocking when you're turning and it's locking when those wheels start spinning at different rates to make sure that you're getting all of the front bite that you need. That's going to be your general mode for all of your standard driving. Trail active, the big thing that they focus on there is your vehicle speed and your throttle position. So how far you're mashing that gas and how fast this machine is going. And its big focus on trail active is getting forward bite and going forward. They said that this is for really aggressive trail riding and really looking for the best feel out of the corner. They want this thing to grab and take off out of the corner, and that's what that mode's gonna be really good for. Now another cool thing that they've got on top of that smart lock technology is you've also got a full locking mode. So you can do that on the fly. You can just click that front diff lock, and that's gonna manually lock those front wheels together to make sure you've got all the biting force at all 4 tires. That's gonna be awesome in the mud, that's gonna be awesome in the rocks, and that's gonna be awesome in the snow. So watch for those trail and trail active modes, but that front diff lock is gonna be where it's at when you're in the rocks and those hard driving conditions. In this right here, they also have an awesome gated shifter for their CVT, so you can make sure to use low for that torque on tap for the low speed driving. You've got the high speed high mode, and then you've got neutral, reverse, and park, and again, this gated shifter is awesome. It just gives you a great feel. Another thing that Can-Am allows you to pick is with their power steering. You've got 3 different modes that you can see here on the gauge. 3 different modes that you can select through with their power steering. You've got minimum, medium, and maximum, allowing you to really tailor this driving experience to how much power steering feel you want from the machine. You want your front end to be more communicative? Turn it down to minimum. It's going to help you less with the electronic power steering, allowing you to feel a little bit more what these front ends are doing. If you're in the rocky situations and you don't want as much kickback from the steering wheel, put them in medium or maximum, and this thing is going to become easier to turn and feel a little bit less of that trail chop that you're going through. Very cool stuff on the power steering. This gauge is very communicative. You've got some different things that you can look at, be it speed stats, engine temp, battery voltage. You've got all sorts of stuff to look at, and it's got your 4-wheel drive modes, your gas, your engine temp. Everything is right there, but you can tailor this little 4.3-inch gauge to show you exactly what you need to see. Now when it comes to the powertrain of this X3 DS Turbo, this base model brings a lot to the table. I'll tell you what, don't call it a base model. You've got 120 horsepower from a turbo 900 triple cylinder. Now with this X3 being the DS Turbo, that 120 horsepower motor is a non-intercooled turbo setup, which brings the horsepower ability down a little bit from the monster 200 horsepower Turbo RR models. The cool thing about this 120 horsepower base model is it's got the turbo already. This is in the same class as the non-turboed Talon, YXZ1000, and XP1000 Razor. Those have 110, 115 horsepower from their naturally aspirated motors, but that's at sea level. The cool thing about having a turbocharger stock is at sea level, you're getting 120 horsepower. At higher elevation, you're still getting 120 horsepower. So us here in Rexburg, Idaho, we're at just shy of 5,000 feet, still getting all 120 horsepower from this. Naturally aspirated motors lose horsepower as you go up in elevation, so you're not getting the full 100, 110, 115 horsepower from the competitors. You are getting it with this. So this is gonna feel like you've got added bump. This 900 triple though, has been a staple in the Can-Am lineup for quite a while. You see a very similar version of this engine in their snowmobiles. They have it in their Rikers. This motor is very, very reliable, and that's gonna give you lots of power for a long time with this machine. But again, the big thing, a stock turbo is awesome to have on this lower horsepower machine. Can-Am gives this a 6-month warranty from the get-go, and a big thing that you can do is, I'm not saying you shouldn't do this because it's going to void the warranty, but you've got a lot more power that you can get out of this motor with an aftermarket tune, that awesome 3-tip exhaust that Yoshimura has for this through Can-Am, as well as you throw an intercooler on this, you can really bump up those boost levels to give you more horsepower from your X3. Sweet, sweet motor when it comes to this machine. Can-Am made some awesome changes to the clutch setup for 2022. This P-Drive setup has been a winner since it came out, but for 2022 they really made sure that this setup is more efficient. You're getting more air in, getting more life out of this belt because it's going to stay a little cooler, but with that cooler belt temp and with the way that they've set up this clutch, you're going to get all that power to the ground as most efficiently as possible with a CVT. Can-Am made some awesome changes when it comes to how it's sucking in air, how it's getting the air out, and making sure that you're getting the maximum life out of your belt and out of the power of this machine. It's coming to the wheels for you to enjoy. Thank you so much for watching this video here for Rexburg Motorsports. I'm Trent, the Machine Nerd. If you would, again, consider hitting that subscribe button, staying up to date on all the Rexburg Motorsports stuff. And if you liked this video, punch that thumbs up. We want to make sure we're making awesome content for you because we love these machines. We want to make sure you're getting all the information that you can to make the best purchasing decision. This X3 is a winner. Come pick one up here at Rexburg Motorsports. And again, thank you so much for watching.